Inhabit the microphone. Be the Skarner.
What?
Feel the crystal. I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Hello, lore heads, and welcome to the League, exploring the League of Legends lore from A to Z. My name is Rebecca.
And I'm John.
My name is Mark.
Today we're talking about the Starry-Eyed Songstress Seraphine, who was released October 29th, 2020. So recent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Although it feels more recent than it is, honestly.
I was going to say it feels so long ago, because I was remembering... I was remembering how pissed off everyone was when she came out. And I was like, man, it feels like that was ages ago. But
you can tell exactly when she came out when you read the comic about her for the KDA one, because everyone in the KDA comic is masked up.
Oh, interesting.
She works at a coffee shop and everyone's masked.
He didn't have to incorporate COVID in the KDA world. Like, I was okay.
You gotta, because KDA world is our world.
I was going to say, it's not COVID, but it's some other alternate universe terrible thing that happened.
Remember, KDA performed at the League of Legends World Championship, meaning canonically KDA is our world and Ari and Evelyn live in our world. IRL.
Yeah, with the tails and
That's horrifying. Oh man. Yeah, Seraphine.
What does she got on the universe page?
Oh, she has a bio and a short story is all that's linked.
Yeah, she doesn't have a lot of canon lore.
No.
She's again part of some of the big AUs, KDA, Star Guardian. That's
John
it, really.
didn't read the Star Guardian again, right?
I did, honestly.
John, don't stop doing this to yourself.
I had to pay attention to the Seraphine specific stuff.
You're gonna like by the end of this, you're gonna have it memorized. You're gonna be able to
I'm surprised
recite.
you don't already. You said his name like you came downstairs at 3 a.m. and you found him like in his underwear, like hunched over reading the Star Guardian. Like, John, we talked about this. Come on,
John, stop it. Close the Star Guardian lore. Just close it.
Yeah, basically. But she also, another thing I went through for her was that she also had like a ton of social media presence. So I had to go through all that.
Yeah, her release was weird. If anyone wasn't around during that, it was really advertised is how I would describe it. And I think it's a huge reason why a lot of people weren't a fan of Seraphine, where she feels more like a money grab than anything else. Like a lot of champions, their skin releases, when they push them, you're like, all right, you're trying to make money. We get it. But Seraphine was like a champion release that felt like.
Well, see, that's the weird thing. Everything for Seraphine was for the KDA skin.
Yeah.
You didn't even get to see her base skin until after the KDA
That's
skin
true.
was released.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's true.
And I think you're absolutely right that's like there are two big things I think that drove so much of the anger around Seraphine, and that's the first big one is that's what they led with was like she came out with an ultimate skin, right? Like that was on like released with one, right? And it felt so, I don't know, crass maybe might be a word I would use on Riot's part. Like they can advertise, they can try and sell me a skin. I get it, you know. Like it's fine, but to come forward with that being like this is what we're leading with instead of anything to do with the, you know, the core, like what the characters are by default. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had some thoughts about it.
Oh,
let's see. I think I wrote them down. I probably wrote them down somewhere, right?
It was hard
because
I mean
the notes, right?
The first KDA thing that came out was Pop Stars, and that crossed over beyond League. I remember going on Twitter. I follow a lot of book people on Twitter and seeing people retweet that. Then I'm like, why is League of Legends popping up in like spaces that I never see League of Legends? It was really strange. And they definitely were they were riding that wave or trying to ride, or maybe re-push that wave almost, which I will say, love the KDA stuff that got released with Seraphine so much. Listen to it regularly. I did not see the same crossover that Pop Stars had. That it didn't have the same like excitement around it, I guess, from people outside of League. But I don't know. It was weird.
So, just to give a bit of context too on the type of social media presence he had. So, in 2020, a bunch of social media accounts that were run by Riot tried to create this kind of fictional online persona to promote the KDA skin and its lore and all that stuff. To be fair, the social media stuff they put up there was a ton of work put into it. So they were posting as if they were Seraphine. Seraphine was a real person, and she was just actually invited by KDA to join them. It starts with her as kind of just writing music on her own. She's got her own SoundCloud, in case you're curious, where she has posted covers that she's done. And then she gets discovered at some point along the way, and then she gets invited. And so the first Twitter post was June 26th, 2020. The final one was November 7th. And she posted almost every day. And it wasn't just like shit posting either. There were like over 100 pieces of unique artwork.
She wasn't just posting Shrek memes or anything.
No, she was. Some of them were shit posts for sure, because it's Twitter and you gotta. But yeah, there was over 100 pieces of unique artwork that they had made for her to post that were just like selfies, but she's not a real person. They were
what?
They were art.
No, she exists in our world, you said, John.
They really missed the boat on like AI generated shit, because they could have just gotten like
they were so
Seraphine
close.
selfie, like
right?
super realistic, right?
Yeah. But yeah, like they put a ton of work into it. And some of the posts were really good, like you got some of the posts where she was just like, I am like other girls. Other girls are great. And is music even real? I mean, it's just like wiggly air, isn't it?
Oh, she had ripped a big old blunt that night.
But then she has some kind of closer to, because you kind of see her descent into imposter syndrome as she gets closer to the performance with KDA.
I love you reading this at 3 a.m, just reading about like Seraphine's descent into madness.
It really. And she's got a post where she's like, I'm realizing I can't do this alone. Maybe I need to be the one to ask for help. So everyone, could you give me some encouraging words? I need something to believe in right now. And like, ultimately I'm torn. Like, they put a lot of work into this. Like, it was a lot of planning, and you get to see a really realistic portrayal of imposter syndrome. Like, the thing that this fake person was going through is a very real thing that a lot of people go through every day. It seems weird for a corporation, because at the end of this was Riot putting this out. This wasn't Seraphine. It seems weird for a corporation asking people for encouraging words to get them through a fake tough time. It hits weird.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it, right? What is ultimately at the core of it is not, hey, don't, give me emotional encouragement. What it is engage with my
yes.
posts and my content, please.
Yeah.
Right? And it is weird. And I think what I would like to say is like always pull that camera back and just imagine one of those Riot rooms where they're having meetings about, okay, what is the Seraphine personality going to be like? What is the style, the tone? Is she going to capitalize eyes and things like that, right? It's like when you start thinking about it in that way, it starts to become a lot more calculating, I might say, almost.
Feels like an episode of Black Mirror a little bit.
It does. It feels exactly like that. What was it? Like the Miley Cyrus episode?
I didn't see that one, but yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, it's hard because like I said, Riot they have shit that they sell, and you're able to advertise. I think maybe if it was a little lighter, and if the content had stayed kind of lighter and maybe a little more fun, I might have been less weirded by it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't use social media that much. I have a Twitter for the podcast, and I don't even use that shit. So, I'm not the audience. You know what I mean?
I'll say it's very cringe. It all just feels like very cringe. Let me use the millennial. Is that a millennial word? Cringe?
No.
Oh my god, I'm so youthful.
No, we co-opted cringe.
We co-opted cringe. So that means it's not cool anymore. So I'm gonna keep using it because that's who I am. She has such main character syndrome, like with the pink hair. You just look at her. I'm trying to picture her in Piltover, and I can't imagine her like walking around Piltover with Caitlyn. Caitlyn looks weird in Piltover too. I don't know.
She works at a coffee shop.
Imagine Seraphine.
And everyone there looks normal as hell.
A few things. Imagine Seraphine walking down the streets of Zon and she runs into Urgot. They're in the same world. I just can't.
we will get. I guess we'll get into it when we talk about it. But there is a character with Seraphine as she's designed that I think works with that.
Yes.
And even that, the visuals and stuff that I think could work, but not in the way. It's not the character they've written. And that was kind of the feeling I ended up with Seraphine, I guess. So they want us to feel one way about her, and I don't. I feel a different way.
Yeah.
What that way is, we'll find out, I guess. But
I like how this started. We didn't even do our impressions yet. We're like, let's do the breakdown of why everyone hated her so badly. Yeah. And I really felt bad.
We jumped into the KDA scale.
I know. I like Riot did. I felt bad with how much hate. And I don't hate Seraphine. Like, this isn't going to be an episode of like full of absolute passionate hatred, I feel like, which a lot of people had for her. But it is interesting to kind of sit down and try to think like, I mean, Riot League players hate a lot of things that Riot does, I guess we'll be honest. But this one felt like everyone was almost on the same page. Not everyone. Yeah. There were definitely people who liked Seraphine when she came out.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, I would be curious, like, what Riot... I want to know what Riot internally thinks of the whole thing, because I feel like they probably got a lot of engagement, and they probably sold a lot of fucking skins.
It's true. To date, I think the Champion Spotlight is the most disliked for any champion with 138,000 dislikes. But it's also still the third most liked Spotlight too.
Interesting.
Behind Set and Yasuo.
I remember when I saw or heard her abilities and everything and saw some stuff, I was like, this does just kind of feel like Sona, but like more powerful. And I played Seraphine quite a bit now. I really like playing Seraphine, and I really like playing Sona. Totally different playstyle. Like, if you play them, it is not remotely the same.
Yeah.
But initially when she came out, that is kind of how it felt. I'm like, oh, you're kind of just ripping off Sona, man. And you don't do anything with Sona.
Get your own thing, you know?
Right. Well, I mean, the Seraphine's kind of like a perfect storm of like these different pieces that, like, on their own, if it had just been this one thing, it probably wouldn't have been that big a deal. But it's like this, the Skarner shit, you know, and like the Sona thing, like it just like this is big vortex of pissed off League players, right? It's a bunch of downvotes and dislikes swirling, right? So, but yeah, I remembered I was getting into this. I was like, okay, what was this controversy? 2020 feels so long ago, and I remember like some episodes way back when we started doing the podcast. I really felt more strongly about like I really don't like Seraphine, but and now I read this, I'm like, this is fine. I've read way worse lore.
There's much ado about nothing, really.
That could be said to a lot of angry League discourse, I think.
Yeah. To be fair, this has also been changed, I suppose, a little bit from its initial.
They have edited slightly, very slightly, but
yeah.
So what's Seraphine sound like?
She sounds
okay. Do you want to go first?
I mean, usually does, right?
I'll go first.
Okay, Mark's gonna go last.
Oh, damn.
You usually go last. Everyone's singing the same song and they don't even know it.
Oh, that's good.
That was good.
Thank you.
Shit.
Everybody fights to be heard. I'll fight to listen.
So I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks, and you sound like when a male like narrator is reading and they're trying to do like a female's voice. And you're like, just do your voice, man. Don't try that.
You're reading for a 50-year-old chain smoking woman. Yeah.
Hello, folks.
All right.
Exactly.
Was that my first hater? Yeah, we went falsetto on that one.
Oh, that's great. I didn't even realize she said that. This is gonna make me want to play Seraphine, man. I could tell already. All right, let's jump into the bio, because I really didn't know much about Seraphine, except that she sings inside Skarner's soul or something like that.
Nailed it.
You gotta pay that troll toll in that Skarner's soul.
Gotta get that Sunny reference.
Early.
Yeah.
By Daniel Couts.
Okay, thank you. Seraphine was a normal, music-loving girl in Piltover. She grew up hearing sad lullabies from her dad, who was sad because he's from Zon. Both her parents are Zonites, but they gave all that up so she could be what?
They gave up all that they had in Zon. All the glory of Zon. To go to this shithole Piltover.
Okay, hang on. To be fair, In the bio, it says they left it all behind so she could be born in or they gave up everything so she could be born in Piltover. Whatever. Shut up, guys. You know what? Maybe they had a really good thing going with Singe or something. I don't know. Anyway, as Seraphine sang her way through childhood, she soon realized that she could hear other people's songs. It was all very confusing to her and myself as I was reading it. That's kind of, all I could think about was Sookie from True Blood. Like, is that what it sounds like? She's just constantly hearing everybody's thoughts all the time, but she's hearing all their songs all the time? I don't know.
This motherfucker has got the Bee Gees, like, stuck in his head. You're staying alive one more time.
I'm gonna lose it. All the people music was really overwhelming, so her parents got a hold of a piece of Hex Tech crystal and made her a pair of like Sick Beats headphones, I guess, to drown out all the noise or dampen all the noise. They call it the damper. It's
a clever name they gave it.
It's a really good, yeah. The crystal contained a consciousness, though, a bracken. Something from Shrima that also likes music, I guess, or something. I don't really know. We haven't gotten to Skarner yet. I don't really know about his people. Over time, with the help of her living headphones, she learned to manage all the noise and she started performing music herself. People in Piltover really liked her, but she felt like something was missing, so she went down into Zaun. Like most Pelties, she didn't realize what Zaun was really like and how, like, fucking depressing it is down there. And the more she spent down there, the more she came to love Zaun, and now she kind of she loves both Piltover and Zaun, sees them both as home now. With the help from her parents, she turned her headphones into a platform instead. So this isn't a microphone, right? I thought she was singing into Skarner. That's what I had heard.
Oh.
But no, they turned the headphones into a platform that she
it's like a stage that she flies
that she's
around
floating
on.
around on. And again, it's fun in the game. I think it looks cool in the game. Cannot imagine that floating around on. It's just, it's very, it's just out of place to me.
That's because she only goes one place in Zaun. And it's the one place where it merges with Piltover.
Right.
So that's true.
The dank Zaun.
I mean, I think she goes into Zaun too sometimes. But anyway.
I don't know. It didn't say she did.
Anyway, the last thing they kind of say, she performed in a place for both Piltovans and Zaunites, kind of where it meets. There's a stage there where they just share performances, I guess. Everyone thought she was super cool. They all love her. And that's kind of it. She wants to join Piltover and Zaun together with music. I'm trying to imagine her like in Zaun and like running into Silco and be like, we can do it, man. We can bring them together with the power of song. Like,
no,
it's this.
Yeah,
she's the personification of Bo Burnham's healing the world through comedy song.
I have not.
It's really good. Highly recommended. Yeah, it's so it's a very naive look at what are genuine, horrible class problems that they are talking about with Piltover and Zaun.
Yeah, right. Like, even in the bio, I thought it was so funny. About halfway through it, she goes to Zaun for the first time, and she's like, and she learned that like it sucks sometimes to be in Zaun, and like it's complicated. It's like, she's like 16-ish.
Right.
This is the first time it entered her mind that like, hey, like this isn't, it's, you know, you think it's a simple misunderstanding. It's not. Okay. It's like so hard to fix this.
I asked them if they tried being happy, and they said it's not that easy, and I don't get it.
As they choke through the smoke.
It's like, it's not very well ventilated down here, so I'm gonna go back up. But if you could like come to my show,
I have to protect my instrument.
Here's my flyer.
I can't get you a discount. And she's like zooming away on her like stupid platform. But that's the thing, right? There is a Seraphine who's like has some of the trappings, right? She's genuinely wants to help people, you know.
Yes.
It's super optimistic, but it's also like a complete airhead. Like that could be really fun of a character. But Riot seems to not like want to acknowledge that, right? They really genuinely think that she can heal the world through music.
Yeah, she's gonna heal the world through her songs until Renata Glass unleashes like a gas that destroys everybody. That's the thing, is like in the context of like the really, really dangerous, real, horrible threats that are all around them, it really doesn't fit. And I do like that idea, Mark, that she's just like really naive and kind of has to learn that. And maybe that's her growth. And I'm okay with her being like, I want to spread art throughout Piltover and Zaun. I want to spread my art and just kind of spread a joy where I can. I think I would be fine with that. But this idea that she's going to like repair centuries of like this horrible shit that Piltover has done to Zaun through song, it's just not, or it doesn't fit.
Or even just really lean into, because in the short story we kind of find out that the consciousness in her crystal will only speak to her in periods where Zaun and Piltover are kind of having harmony. So like,
I honestly
lean into the fact that like, maybe, okay, yeah, it's nice that we're uniting them. We're never going to make peace happen. But what I do want is uniting them long enough to hear what the fuck this dude in my ear has to say, because it seems like he's important.
Yeah. I keep forgetting about it, honestly.
It's a weird thing for them to even have in there, for how much a pain in the ass it seems to have like been for Riot to like have to deal with that fact. Why did they add that detail? I don't know. You know what that is that's like 1 point for Riot for like, hey, remembering Skarner exists and Skarner's people have like this weird resonance thing, and then like minus a fucking million for execution, right? Like, thanks for remembering, I guess. I don't know.
But this raises all sorts of ethical questions amongst Ziltover and Pawn that I'd rather not think about.
You know, I mean, goddamn. Yeah, you know, it's, you know, there are definitely directions you could take her. I think it's weird too to think about like, okay, you have this really altruistic, like, peppy optimism, but what is like the material impact of the good that you're doing compared, like, yeah, they had a good time at a concert. I get that feels good, but one side is like literally hacking up their lungs, right? Like compared to someone like Renata Glask, who has a real like tangible benefit to the lives of like Zaunites, right? Like what does Seraphine do compared to that? You know what I mean? And why did you need to be a pop
everyone
star
needs
for
a
all
night
that?
out, you know?
You just need a day off. You need to get a babysitter.
Just leave the kids with Urgot and just go see a nice concert.
Bring the kids.
You know, it's like, I think it's weird to me also that if she's supposed to be this person who is so just wants to do good for people, why did she? It feels very almost self-serving that like I'll help people, but I also want to be like a musical sensation and like a really famous pop star. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I think that the real issue is that she was a pop star at conception first and foremost, and then they kind of slotted her into Runeterra somehow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly
and you
what
can
happened.
slot in a pop star. Just have him be a pop star. Don't have him be like altruistic, you know? In this way.
Yeah. I like the idea of I like the idea of a more like vain kind of self. Like she rides around on a fucking stage, right? With this like hair and this outfit. It's like kind of lean into that, and that she's someone who's like,
she's very extra.
Yes, get into that more. That's also kind of fun. There's a lot of ways you can go with Seraphine. I don't know why she ended up kind of this way. Why are you like this, Seraphine?
Why are you like this?
They just wanted more KDA music.
They could have had it.
That'll heal the world.
Yeah.
You know, another thing that gets mentioned in here is that before she has the dampener, she can't filter out the like emotional songs, whatever it is that she's got going on, and it leaves her kind of stuck in the house and I don't know, kind of going crazy. And that's kind of an interest. That's like the biggest piece of struggle or suffering that Seraphine seems to have ever experienced, and it gets like no play anywhere at all for it being, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and like this, she was released, I think what was the month that you said?
October.
She was released like in a year and in a month following a lot of like turmoil in the United States and the whole world. And I mean, the whole character release honestly seemed like it came straight from Bo Burnham's entire Inside special, just like all sorts of aspects of it. But it hit too close to home, I think, for things that were really going on in the world, like her trying to cure the divides between Piltover and Zon. Like this was peak times where everyone was like, what can I do to help? I guess all thoughts and prayers.
All the people. That's where I thought you were going with that.
No, I have blocked that out of my head.
Yeah, like so.
Oh, you're right. Seraphine is the equivalent of all those famous people singing Imagine from their mansions.
Yeah,
because they were sad to quarantine in their big mansions with their maids.
Like,
right? But kind of actually, right? Because here she is coming from Piltover, and it's like, I know her parents had to, like, Seraphine has not like sacrificed anything. Her parents have sacrificed a lot, or the Brackern that is like her battery has sacrificed a lot.
Her battery Bracken. Yeah, I do like the idea of a character who, like, her parents gave up everything that they had to bring Seraphine there. They probably busted their ass so they could have their daughter up there. And I like the idea that she's drawn to Zon. I think that's very fun, but that's not played with at all, obviously.
Yeah, they go through, they do that a lot in the bio about like how this feels like home, and then this doesn't feel like home, and like you said, it doesn't really get any follow up that much.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It'd be like if Moana was like never went out on the ocean. She was drawn to it and then was like, but I guess I'll just chill.
Stay here.
We're good
I'm
here.
gonna like lead this place. I'm probably fine, Yeah. I had the image in my mind of like a character from like Schitt's Creek, but who's nice, like a good person at their core, but also completely sheltered and like has no world experience.
Oh my god, I love the idea of Alexis Seraphine. Well, yeah, that's her bio.
That's her bio.
Mm-hmm.
We got Standing Room Only, also by Daniel Kautz.
Yeah, so this is it's told from Seraphine's perspective. She's doing a show. She's doing it down at the entresol level, which is where they Piltover and Zon kind of start to mingle and mix. And she's getting ready, and the crowd's coming together, and it's a mix of Pilties and Zonites. And like middle schoolers at their first dance, they are completely separated, one on one side.
Yeah, they even mentioned that like a Pilty almost trips and falls on the Zon side, and people like come to rescue him to make sure that he doesn't get like their cooties.
So they're playing their cooties. Only in this case, they probably do have something that's transferable. Right?
You don't want to catch the gray.
The gray lung.
Oh my god.
And she's getting kind of nervous, and then she spots like there's a Zonite person I know, and there's a Piltovan person I know, and they're very different, but they have this common thread between them, and that they're determined. And it kind of, she's doing her empath thing, so she's kind of inspired and starts singing, and everyone loves it. And by the end of the concert, everyone's losing their minds, and they're all together. And then afterwards, she's kind of reflecting on how good a job she did, how great it is when everything comes together.
Honestly, that's exactly what she's doing. She's just sitting there like, damn, I did a great thing.
Real good
I
here.
did great. I think I'm one step closer to bringing everyone together.
Yeah. I did fucking kill it. So,
honestly,
you want to talk to me, Crystal Boy, or what?
Yeah, I do love the confidence, though. I wish I had that whenever I accomplished anything at all. Instead of being like, you piece of shit, you could have that so much.
You got a really angry Brackern.
I do.
In your ear.
That's what it is.
But yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, I don't have a lot of complaints. There is a bit in the middle, and this is like totally in service to her being that Schitt's Creek character where she says, what is it? She says, I don't remember. I don't have it written down. She's like, why can't they just like be together for a second and just like let it all go and just be happy?
Distinctly remember that line where she's like, why can't they just like get along?
Right? For the same reason. Like, come on.
It had like real Senna vibes there. Like, Aurelia, why can't you just forgive Riven? She said sorry.
Which, you know what? I will say this. There are some teenage girls out there who definitely have that vibe. And I think like what you said, Mark, just lean into that she's like a really naive teenager who just has no idea how the fucking world works at all.
Yeah. Yes, I would like that more, because I read that and I just like started fucking laughing so hard. I was like, these people are walking it like they're like, you got these grimy like Zonite orphans who are probably like, remember that one we read about those kids who went to go see a show,
and it was at this place where they went to go see it.
My
so like, you know that half
yeah.
the Zonites here probably had to go through that bullshit just to get here.
I love it. They're like, hey, I noticed that we're gonna have a crowd that's like 2 times capacity, and it's like, don't worry about it, half of it's Zon, half of them won't even fucking make it up. They're just gonna get squished or splattered or whatever.
God.
So it'll be standing room only, but it'll be fun. You know.
I think my main complaint about this story is that there were cool visuals in it, but like ultimately what they're trying to describe is a very difficult to understand real life phenomenon that like people just like see music. And I had a really hard time connecting, just because it's one of those things that just is very difficult to conceptualize, and if someone's describing exactly, like, it doesn't help me conceptualize it, which like it sounds silly in a world of magic, like but when you describe something like this, it reminds me of like Rise describing sand to Brand. Like it's a legitimate thing that if you've experienced it, yeah, it's going to resonate deeply with you, but if you've never seen it, you're just like, I can't even begin to understand what is being described to me right here.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was kind of, you know, Rebecca, you were talking about in the bio, you felt like a little confused, I guess, like in terms of what it is that she's going on with her. And I agree, because they were so like adherent to the song, like metaphor or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, I have to guess that she's got some empathic type thing happening, and that's what's going on. But maybe you could just like, you can drop it a little. I get that she likes music and her whole thing's, you know, music and all that shit, but give me a little more to work with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I will say, I actually didn't mind the way it described. In this, I liked it more. I mean, it's a lot of, it's really flowing prose, but I think for what you're trying to describe it or they're trying to describe, it works better. So I didn't mind it as much as maybe the bio, you know?
Yeah. It's tough. Like, I don't know how you describe it that would help me. Like, I don't think there is a way. I think it's just something that's going to be beyond me. But I did also, at this point, I read ahead to Skarner because I needed to figure out what the fuss was about. Because the Bracken get very little play in the bio and this short story. So I was like, surely people aren't drawing all these conclusions based on this, because we get nothing from this. So I read ahead to Skarner. I've come to the conclusion that I think people were just upset about not a whole lot. So the crystals to the Bracken are called name stones, and using the name stones to power things, at least in Skarner's lore, there was an example where they were using it to power a weapon, and he did say that it would drain the crystal to do it. So it's possible that Seraphine using them for her amplifier might be doing the same thing. But the impression I get is that Skarner's whole thing is getting humans to, like, in addition to rescuing the other name stones, because that's also a big thing, but he also wants humans to hear and understand the dream song that's in the crystals. It's like a big goal of his. And as far as I can see, Seraphine continuing to try to understand the Bracken in her crystal so she can sing its song is literally the only way that happens. Like, there's no other way this is gonna happen, because no one else can hear shit in the crystal, and people don't seem to be able to understand Skarner either. So it's like a dependent symbiotic relationship where they really kind of need each other here. I
wonder
now,
if that's...
obviously... Oh, sorry.
I just wonder if that's was Riot's intention, or like if that's what they had in mind when they wrote it all. You know?
Yeah, you never know. Like, it's tough too, because after a lot of the complaints, like, they edited some of her voice lines because she did have some kind of antagonistic voice lines towards Skarner, and they edited the bio a little bit, although, like, basically they just added in the bits where the crystal was communicating with her and guiding her. Like, that shit wasn't in the original version.
It seemed like in the original version, the big difference that at least I kind of took from it was that in the original version, she was well aware of what it was in there, and kind of was. I think what people kind of took umbrage with, or at least maybe I did. I don't know. Is that she seems to be taking. She's got this thing, this like dead, this I don't know, consciousness of like a dead race that they need this thing to come back to life, right? And she's using it, like I said, kind of like a battery, and is aware that she's kind of got this soul thing in powering her microphone or whatever. And I think the tweaks to the bio have made it so it's something that's not clear to her, and she's just in pursuit of understanding it, which I think is a lot like it absolves her, right? These edits kind of absolve her of any sort of like. Some more morally questionable things about like, is it right to use this soul battery thing that doesn't even have the option of like, if you wanted, you could just put it in your microphone and it can't stop you. You know what I mean?
I couldn't even find that version.
I'll be honest, I didn't either. I just did
heard a lot of people talking about, and I found an original version that had been edited to include the voice talking to her a little bit because that wasn't in the original, but like. A lot of the shit, like I heard a lot of discourse about her understanding what was in the crystal. I cannot find that version of the bio anywhere.
I can't either, but I feel very confident that is a big change in the content.
Do you think that's something that was from the voice lines? Do you think that it was never part of the bio, but because of the voice lines towards Skarner?
I think the voice lines, they don't help, but I also find that to be that's something I don't give any, we don't give any credence to, right? Because like voice lines they're not canon. They're just canon. It's just, we need a taunt. And if you had the soul stone of somebody's dead race, you might wave it in their face to taunt them. You know what I mean? So I think that has muddied the waters, I guess I might
almost
say.
like the idea of this kind of villainous Seraphine, honestly.
There's a lot of ways you could go with her, frankly, that are kind of fun.
That's true.
I think, what else it is? I think more at its core is that you've got this new champion who Riot is absolutely trying to push super hard, and it feels like she's almost kind of, I don't want to say like stealing or like being grafted onto this old-ass champion that gets no love, Skarner, and be like, don't worry, like if it just feels like so Riot in the sense of like, yeah, don't worry about that old shit, here's the new hotness and this is what's going on with the lore now, actually. So it's like, man, I was kind of hoping we would get something a little more for Skarner than just like Seraphine's the vehicle through which everything will be fixed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Seraphine really like solidified this. I've known for like, I don't really like to read about musicians. I found when I read like books and stuff, I read books about music, and I don't like it. And I'm really finding that with Seraphine too. I'm like, I don't want to hear about your song that you're singing that's real good. I want to let me hear it.
That's fair.
Well, go to her SoundCloud.
Yeah.
No. I think I've been to it actually, but like back years ago. Well, you got some quotes here?
I got some quotes.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So many references. Holy.
So many references. She makes a lot of references. Mostly her KDA skin, but her base one has some too. So You're All Breathtaking is a cyberpunk. Well, it's a Keanu Reeves reference from E3 when he was doing a cyberpunk presentation.
Oh my god.
Hey Vi, wrote you a fight song. Bet you'd love it. Is probably implying that she wrote Vi's Here Comes Vi song.
Yeah.
So she's okay. She's like trying to bring Piltovers on together, but she's also singing fight songs while the Piltover police beat down on.
Yeah.
It's a really good fight song, okay?
It's a very good fight song.
Even the Zonites are like bobbing their heads to it as they
like,
get
all
shit
right,
pushed
here
in.
comes Vi.
It is a banger.
As she punches me with her metal hands.
Talk about a banger. Yeah, that's, oh man. Oh, damn.
So for the KDA skin, it's got a lot of music references. Wonder if that third guy from the left ever came here. Oh wait, I need to focus. Is a reference to BTS's member Jin.
Oh, okay. I don't know anything about BTS.
Me neither. Oh my gosh, how many yordles did you kill with one song? And that's a mortal reminder for you, is a mortal reminder reference from Pentakill. Your best looks like my worst, and guess I'm the giant now, is a Giants reference from True Damage. Someday I want to fly in the water like a little manta, is a reference to Manta by Lexi Liu.
I'm too old for a lot of
nope.
this. I think.
Peekaboo is a reference to Peekaboo by Red Velvet.
Peekaboo,
Who?
a game played with babies, very popular.
Yeah.
I was doing it earlier. And Poppy was loving it.
You were killing it, hun.
Cracking up. It was her like I'm too tired laughs though. You know when she like they're about to fall asleep and she it's like this manic too.
You were smurfing in Peekaboo.
I was smurf.
Like Sour Candy is a reference to Sour Candy by Lady Gaga featuring Blackpink.
Okay, I've heard of them.
Let's see. Don't Start Now is a song by Dua Lipa.
I've heard of Dua Lipa.
Let's Cut to the Feeling.
Hey, Carly Rae Jepsen, my girl. Love Carly Rae.
I once saw dancers jumping and popping at the same time. So cool. References Jopping by Super M.
All right, you lost me now. I'm out of it again.
Gotta check that shit out.
Oh, shit.
You're So Done is a Dun Dun reference by Everglow.
I'm so fucking old.
And then Rumors Hurt More Than Sticks or Stones. The words you say hit like bricks on bones, but like Maya and the Tides, Still I Rise. It's a reference to the poem Still I Rise by Maya Angelou.
What? Okay.
Damn.
So if you weren't sure about the healing the world through comedy parallel.
Why is that there? It's just all of these pop references I've never heard of, and then she's just slamming down bars for Maya Angelou.
Spitting that Angelou hot fire. Come on. Get cultured, son. Shit.
Riot, man.
Because the world needs a white pop star to save us.
By
quoting Maya Angelou.
Oh my god, I can't breathe. I'm done. All right, I hate Seraphine now too. You're right. Everyone was right.
That turn.
42 minutes, folks. Mark it.
No, I'm still gonna play it later. All right. Was that it with canon?
That's all for canon. I got some AU shit. You want to hear some of that?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Can I zone out during the Star Guardians?
You may.
Thank God. I usually do.
quiz.
No. Let me look up the skins.
No, the
I
quiz
know
the
them
quiz
all.
is actually in Riot Records KDA.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
So, just as mentioned, she's part of KDA.
What?
There's
Oh,
a place
really?
between fantasy and reality where anything can happen. You have the power to be anyone and do anything. It is your dream. In our in-between world, KDA feels confident and strong. We can do anything, and so can you. The bio for this one. KDA's newest collaborator is Seraphine, a vibrant young producer and songwriter. Music is a way for her to connect with others and herself, all alongside KDA. She's determined to reach new heights. Earnest and open-hearted, Seraphine's dream is to unite the world through her art. And there's a lot of skins for this one, because there's multiple versions.
It's pretty cool. It was a cool way to do the skin.
Because they kind of tell the story of, they tell her story through the skins. So first one we have KDA All Out Seraphine Indie. With a stunning voice and a sunny disposition, Seraphine has big dreams about her music and what she can offer the world. She knows that someday, if she just keeps trying, she'll make her beloved cat Bao proud. She has an adorable cat named Bao, by the way.
Is
Oh,
it
it
Bao
was
or
cute.
Bo? Like, how's it spelled?
B-A-O.
B-A-O. Okay. Oh, no, yeah, Bao. Sorry. Yeah, like the Bo. Okay, sorry. I just assumed you were mispronouncing Bo. That's my bad. I'm sorry.
Just trying to make you look dumb.
Yeah, you fucking reverse card me. Oh my god, I can't talk. Whatever.
Uno reversed,
Uno
bitch.
reverse. Thank you. That's what. Yes.
The the cat features heavily in her social media posts.
Oh, that's great.
KDA All Out Seraphine Rising Star. Seraphine's life is changing faster than she ever expected, and she's trying to hold on to her unique voice, keep up with Kaisa's intimidatingly sharp choreography, and still somehow manage to get enough sleep.
Have a
All in
baby,
one
bitch.
day? Damn.
She's 17.
Okay, don't have a baby, please.
And then we've got KDA All Out Seraphine Superstar.
You didn't have to do that to me. I was clearly making a joke. Now you're making it sound like I support teen pregnancies.
After her whirlwind rise to stardom, Seraphine is on the top of the world and the charts with her feature on KDA's new EP. Her music and her message are resonating with her fans, and she's excited to show them what's next on her journey of self-discovery through music.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
And then she's part of the comic Harmonies. So we learn more about how Seraphine came to join the group. Evelyn saw one of her videos and sent it to Ari, who reached out and invited her to collaborate. We learn she's working at a coffee shop through this whole thing. We learn that this whole story took place during the pandemic because of the masks. We learn her dad calls her Little Bean Sprout. We learn her coworker or manager, I'm not really sure, Ben, is the GOAT. He fucking lets her leave early work so she can busk, since he knows that she's meant for greater things. Makes her favorite drink when she looks sad, and then eventually just encourages her to quit so she can just focus on her music full time.
Yeah, it's surely what your boss is like when you work in fucking the service
Right.
industry.
Especially during the height of, big pandemic times,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
You usually just
Business
quit.
owners were, surprisingly just understandable. And,
No one wants
and
to work
good.
anymore. Then the day she leaves, he puts a sign up. No one wants to work. Had to close. No employees.
Shit.
Now she also is part of Sharp issue 1, which is kind of an in-universe, which universe is our universe, magazine talking all about KDA. And there's an article about Seraphine called A Star on the Rise, which in it says that Ari was introduced to Seraphine by her fans, which seems to contradict the comic a little bit, but whatever. And there's even a quiz at the end of the comic that asks who discovered Seraphine, and the correct answer is Evelyn in that quiz. So, Ari, maybe give Evelyn some credit. And then she also wants to unite the world in song here, too.
Sure. Cool.
And then finally, cinematic. More. It's the music video, the whole build up to her entire story through the KDA storyline. She joins at the end, has a cool Chinese solo, which brings the number of languages in the song More up to 3.
Ooh.
So that's neat.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The Chinese thing is interesting, given the bow thing. So is she supposed to be in at least in this, or like Chinese American, or
I think so.
I was wondering because the bean sprout thing, it triggered a memory that in China, at least, they call kids who are very tall and lanky, they call them bean sprout children because they're tall and thin. And for a while, our baby was like that. She was very long and thin, so we called her the bean sprout baby. Made me wonder. That's interesting.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have picked that up at all.
So your baby's going to be Seraphine, is what you're
Right. There's a lot of
Maybe.
text messages in the comic. And yeah, her dad definitely, I think, is responding in Chinese. So I think that's
interesting.
And then we've got the next AU is Four Beasts, and she's part of the Phoenix Mancers, part of that. Only the truest of hearts are blessed by the divine Feng Huang, a legendary phoenix who watches over the world. Her champions receive a single feather, each one containing unimaginable elemental power, granting them the means needed to protect all that is innocent and good from forces lurking in the shadows. This one's graceful phoenix Seraphine. A champion of the common folk, Seraphine's music united her community in defense against a mysterious force that sought to wipe them out. The Feng Huang heard Seraphine's graceful song and blessed her with the power to fight the darkness back.
I'm attacking the darkness.
Great.
That's all I can think
Great,
about.
great,
whatever.
great.
Timely.
It's always timely.
Right? That was not me.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, there's a motorcycle gang.
Flew over.
Next up, we've got The Winged Rain. Reign. Just to... I got your back.
Thank you.
All Fey nobility are servants to nature's will, carrying out the natural order and the turning of seasons with their magic. Beneath that higher purpose, however, a constant game of political intrigue plays out in luxurious courts of silk, gossamer, and gold. Power, after all, magical, natural, or political, always inspires competition. This one is Fairy Court Seraphine. A sunny siren of the summer court. It was Lady Seraphine's skillful makeover talents that helped get Karma and Callista ready to face nobility with style. She's a master of courtly manners and was more than happy to teach her new friends everything that really counts about being fabulous.
Oh.
Yeah. The
Was
beginning
she, like,
of that
fashion
was...
designer Seraphine then?
I guess.
As I'm
She
understanding
still has
it.
a stage carrying her around.
Yeah. The beginning was so alliterative. I thought it was going to turn into like one of the glorious skin blurbs. A sunny siren of the summer court, Seraphine skillful.
I like that.
Then we got Sun-Kissed Summer, which is where Ocean Song falls under. Nothing exudes the beach vibes and cool tunes lifestyle more than the Ocean Song Festival. From Seraphine's mellow songs to Yone's experimental DJ set, there's a vibe for everyone. So feel the sand between your toes, taste the salty air, and lose yourself to the best music of the summer. So one's
Nice.
Ocean Song Seraphine.
Very good.
I
Is
want
this
to
the
hear
one-
DJ Yone's set.
Yeah, well, isn't... It makes me wonder, is this supposed to be kind of like cross-universe with True Damage, which I guess is also kind of cross-damage with KDA, or cross-universe? Because Yasuo DJs for True Damage, right?
Right.
So it'd be nice if Yone was also doing some DJ shit.
Right?
Like this weird experimental
That'd be
stuff
neat.
underground.
He hasn't
At
quite
pool
broken out
parties.
yet.
That's where the cutting edge.
Everyone gets discovered at pool parties. Everybody knows that. This one's Ocean Song Seraphine. After taking a break to recharge her creative spirit, Seraphine is back. Rather than dive straight into a solo tour, she's drawing on the relaxed energy of the Ocean Song Festival to ease herself back into singing. With no set list, she's going to listen to her audience and let the music current take her. And this one has a prestige skin, too.
Yes, go on.
Never content to swim with the tide, which seems to counteract the last sentence I just read, where she was fully prepared to let the current take her.
This is a different one, though.
Seraphine's making waves with her new sea breeze look. Whether it's on the runway or the concert stage, beach season's open and the water's warm.
I love it.
Because someone peed in it.
Yeah, right?
God, no. Y'all are nasty.
Finally, last one. Star Guardian Season 4.
Which I have to Google because it's not on the wiki.
It's not on the wiki. This is another one that's not on her page, but your boy remembered, so he's bringing the facts to you.
God bless you. From Riot's mouth to your ears.
Ancient enemies appear in a Valorant. Ancient enemies appear in Valorant City, scarred by Zoe's invasion, now defended by a new generation of Star Guardians. As darkness gathers in the skies above, Kaisa and Akali prepare their untested squad for a fight with forces beyond their comprehension, and the true threat that awaits beyond.
I've never seen her little creatures in this.
Oh yeah, they're cute.
What that mouth do, though? There's just this big, like, Kirby mouths. I guess they're singing, but they look like they're eating everything.
Maybe they are.
God.
You don't know. This one's Star Guardian Seraphine. A pop sensation across the galaxy, Seraphine can't wait to team up with the Star Guardians for a brand new collab. Her glittering personality may occasionally get on the nerves of the group's more jaded members, but for the most part, even they can't resist the harmonies that Seraphine sings. When she's not defending the universe, she's likely dragging her friends to a weeknight karaoke, hoping that the selection of songs includes her own. And then she's got 2 magical mediums, treble and bass. Fans may recognize treble and bass as the dynamic duo that provides the beats to Seraphine's pop star ballads. So that's what the mouse do. They go boom, whap, boom, whap.
It's not as sexy as what I imagined.
They also make a...
I was going to say, could you imagine going to karaoke with someone who has songs that they've written there on the list, and then they sing their own songs?
Right.
Oh,
God, you have to go and think to
God.
yourself... She won't, right? There's no way that'd be too much. And then she does, and you're like, oh my God, we're never fucking going to karaoke
She unzips
with
her
again.
hoodie and she's wearing her own merch.
And she goes around with her backup singers all the time too, because they're her medium. So I mean, she's got the whole package there.
Great.
I can see why her team finds her obnoxious. Let's see. They also make for a great team in combat. When treble goes high, guess where bass goes? Bass
Higher.
goes low.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Fighting a roaring chaos monster can be fun, but they're more partial to the roar of a crowd. And just look at those dance moves. It's also worth mentioning her favorite food is listed here as brown sugar milk. Not brown sugar milk tea, which I get, and I also love. Just brown sugar milk.
John, don't say that like you wouldn't drink brown sugar milk if you saw that somewhere on a menu.
Probably would.
You absolutely would.
Interesting. Okay.
Given how much I love brown sugar milk tea, I don't see why I wouldn't.
I just eat brown sugar. I like brown sugar milk. Just cut out the old middleman.
They don't give them to you as fucking pieces and make you mix your own. It's not a deconstructed brown sugar milk tea. Now she's part of a few cinematics. We got Everything Goes On. This is that the Porter Robinson song, which I got the name right this time. She's on Zaya's team, and she's specifically the one who holds Zaya back from jumping off the building on accident when she's following Rakan's feather. And she's also the one who hugs her and holds her while she cries.
Aww.
Good job, Seraphine.
Yeah.
Saved a life.
At what cost?
Next up, we got New Dreams. This is that series of video blogs we talked about for Senna. For the record, this whole series of video blogs for all the characters was clearly Seraphine's idea, and Senna doesn't even seem interested in participating. So Seraphine does not seem interested in keeping her Star Guardian-ness a secret. She just kind of admits it in the video blogs. She outright transforms right on camera. She's also...
I am Iron
right?
Man.
So she's training on the roof. She's like hurling magic at those test dummy Teemos.
Oh. Okay.
But she only does 50%, and then Senna does 250%, and she gets all sad. She starts to doubt herself, and she asks Zaya if they're really ready for this, and then Zaya's like, hey, I chose you because you're ready. Don't forget it.
It's a good Senna impression.
Thanks. And in Oriana's blog, she's the only one who hugs her while she repairs Talker, who had just recently sacrificed itself to save them all. And then in Senna's blog, it's like a robot, so it sacrificed itself and then got rebuilt by Oriana. You know how it is. And then in Senna's video blog, Seraphine calls Senna to the roof, and Senna shows up just in time to see Seraphine do 250% damage to the Teemo target test dummy. So, she's getting stuff wrong. And then she's also very confused about Senna's romance mangas and doesn't understand what she sees in them. And then also runs out and comforts Zaya when Zaya overhears the whole conversation.
So she's just running around hugging people.
So
She's running around
you go
hugging
hug
people.
Zaya?
Yeah, she does go out and hug Zaya a lot. The hugging is a recurring theme in the comic, too. So she's in the comic star-crossed. She's the second person Zaya recruits for her team after Senna. She's doing a concert in the park, which, for the record, the park that she's playing in is called Entresol Prime.
Great.
Yeah,
Great.
the place she plays at, I don't know if we said specifically, but the place where Piltover meets Zahn is called the Entresol. That's where she performs in canon lore. So she's performing in Entresol Prime, and monsters are attacking, but she's defeating them easily enough. Someone requests her to play Mortal Reminder from the crowd.
That'd be a great cover, honestly. I would enjoy that.
Senna doesn't seem confident that Seraphine is strong enough, but then Zaya mentions that, like Senna, Seraphine has been a Star Guardian for centuries, all alone, with no teammates, and hasn't fallen yet, which is a rarity among Star Guardians. So, meanwhile, Seraphine knows she's being watched by Senna and Zaya because she can, read thoughts. It seems like in this one she can actually specifically read thoughts as opposed to just kind of sensing feelings. She's much more specific in her thought reading in this one. But then bigger monsters show up, so they team up. We find out that her powers are diminished when there's no crowd around, which seems like a bit of a liability, since most crowds are going to be gone in the big fights, but whatever. She also shields Zaya and Senna by throwing glitter at them. That's how she shields.
They can't get it out of their hair for days.
They can't. And then at one point, Zaya tells Seraphine to get into position, which she assumes, that's tough to say, means giving Zaya a hug. So she runs up and gives Zaya a hug. It was not what she meant. But they defeat the monster and go to recruit Oriana. Seraphine is very into Oriana's ballerina aesthetic, and she tells Ori that she should join them because they do sleepovers and do each other's hair and stuff, which Senna vehemently denies. When they're fighting in the city, where Rakan is attacking at the same time as Fiddle and Morgana are, Seraphine suggests helping the other team, or getting help from them, because they're also losing their fight. And then MF and Ari come to save the day, and they manage a tense alliance with Zaya, and she says, "Yay! We've all put our terrible pasts behind us. I love this, and I love being a Star Guardian." It's a very Seraphine line. And then she's part of the visual novel, which is just like an in-depth version of the comic. A few notable things here. Senna and Seraphine skip training once to play Valorant.
Why, though?
Yeah. Seraphine yelled at Ari for skipping training and not knowing who Talkers was.
She yelled?
Yeah.
Seraphine. She better have hugged her after.
Yeah. Yelling at her for skipping practice after skipping practice to play Valorant seems a bit like calling the pot calling the kettle black there, but at one point Seraphine also invites all the Guardians to a Star Guardian event, only for it to turn out to be a sleepover and study session. People are less than enthused. And that's Star Guardian.
That's the AUs.
That's the AUs.
Got some fun facts
Solid.
for us?
I have some fun facts. Y'all want some fun facts? They're fun and they're facty.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
They're facts. They're fun. You're welcome. I did do a good job.
Good for you, and you're growing as a person. You'll be ready to unite the world through your comedy soon enough. So Seraphine is voiced by Michelle Panu. Her codename during development was Ellipsis Mage and Idol.
Well, Idol makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
She has some thematic overlap with Sona, whereas Sona is supposed to represent the musical aura theme. Seraphine is supposed to represent the rhythmic music theme.
Sure, they pulled that out of their asshole.
Sure. Yeah. Cool.
She was supposed to be actually released much earlier, but she was held back because they wanted to coincide her release with the KDA thing because it was such a strong thematic fit. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
You say so, Ryan.
Her outfit was specifically designed to stand out compared to the usual outfits from Piltover and Zahn.
Well, it does.
Because costumes of real-life pop stars at concerts are different than average streetwear.
Yeah,
So,
but they're not wearing that at home.
maybe they are. I don't know.
Okay, Riot. Okay, Are all these fun facts from
These
some
are all
Riot
from Twitter after
Twitter
the fact.
after everyone got really mad? Okay.
Yes, 100%.
That's why okay. That's why they all feel like Riot was actively listening to us
Justification.
20 minutes ago. And it's like, well, actually.
Actually.
Okay, that's fine. I need that context.
Yeah. Seraphine's Twitter account was run by a Riot writer, Bethany Higa, with the goal of creating an interactive story about a girl who pursues her dreams. A scrapped ability tested in development was a mind control themed spell, so she would channel on a single target and mesmerize them, allowing her to control their actions for a few seconds.
I never would have played her. I'm too dumb
Damn.
for that.
Interesting. That's interesting.
I can't control Tibbers when I play Annie, so...
Now, the song she performs in her color story is implied to be her own champion theme.
Oh.
And it's also implied that champion themes are what Sera would hear whenever she's near any of the champions in League. But whatever version she hears in her head would basically be like, you know, her own fan cover version that's different from the official theme.
It's all like off key and shitty and warbly, like when you're singing to the radio and it's just like interesting.
I wonder how Fiddlesticks theme sounds. That wasn't anything.
I'm pretty sure Phil Six just ran into y'all's room.
Yeah,
Grabbed the
that was
mic.
pretty good.
Eek.
That's the most proud I've ever been of a performance. It's going to be my next cover on the YouTube.
Great.
Seraphine's spells are her sound and voice amplified, and her basic attacks come from the sound waves of her fingers snapping. And like mentioned, she's 17 years old as of 996 AN.
Great. I love it when AN gets dropped. Get a lice.
After Noxus, I think it was, right?
Yeah, I think so. Seraphine has chromesthesia, a perceptual phenomenon in which auditory stimulation leads to visual experience, being able to see colors and shapes in sounds. And her favorite flavor of ice cream is cotton candy.
Okay. This is for teen people article now.
Right.
Oh, God, that's a lot of fun facts.
That's right.
Shit.
We got through most of them, actually, during the
Oh,
KDA
okay.
conversation, so... Seraphine is the first champion to be simultaneously released in League of Legends and Wild Rift.
Oh.
Let's see, we'll skip most of the KDA stuff. We talked about all that. And then finally, if you go to her SoundCloud, you can hear Seraphine covers of Made Me This Way, All the Things She Said,
Yo.
Pop Stars, and Childhood Dreams.
Some tattoo in there.
They do have fucking tattoo in there.
That's great. All the things she said is a bop.
That's
That's
true.
those are the fun facts, and that was Seraphine.
That's Seraphine. How we feeling?
I feel like we were really
Feelings?
hard on Seraphine. I will say
We're pretty hard on Seraphine.
it's not that bad. It's like I said, if ignore all the other crap around it and just looking at the lore. Maybe there's like a big kind of misfire in a certain way, but for the most part, it's fine. It's not like offensive to my sensibilities.
Exactly. I'm
Yeah.
not offended by anything we read here. I
Yeah.
think it could have been better, but like,
Yeah.
I don't think Riot ruined the legacy of the Brackern. It's fine. It's fine, y'all.
Potential, right?
Yeah.
I would also say she's in Legends of Runeterra, and the only interesting thing for that is that there is a card called Zon Diva, which if you look at it, it's like it's a Zonite like rock metal girl. And I think just in terms of just visual design, I want to see that champion way more than Seraphine. I'll just say, look her up. She's pretty cool looking, I will say.
Okay.
But that's it. That was the only little thing.
Alrighty. Well, that was Seraphine. Thank you so much for listening. We have a Twitter, it's at Loreheads, and we have a Twitch, twitch.tv/Loreheads. John streams on Saturdays. He does some TFT and then swaps over to ARAMs. We're also going to start trying to stream on Mondays now.
We did it this past week. We said we were going to do it, and then we actually did it. Look at us.
Yeah,
Hell
I'm
yeah.
supposed to be the one who does that stream. We'll see how well it goes. Yeah, but maybe Monday. When you hear this, if you're listening on Monday when this comes out, that'll be my first stream. Yeah. anyway, we have a YouTube as well. We're posting clips and videos of this and whatnot, and we have a Discord if you want to chat with people about the lore. It's a bit busy as heck in there.
Yeah, and I think very soon we're gonna have some T-shirts.
Oh yeah, we are working on that. I guess we can drop that hint in now. Our sister-in-law has been working on some designs. They're so fun, so cute.
Yeah.
She's really good.
We're pretty excited.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped. I have one other idea that I wanted to do.
Okay. I'm just excited to see what comes through the pipe.
Right. We've kind of started setting up shop. It's probably going to be through Bonfire, but we'll announce that probably at the beginning of an episode when it's actually live, and we'll post it on Twitter and Discord and probably everywhere, really. But yeah. That'll be nice. We have a Patreon as well. I just posted a fabulous review of the 1993 hit film Super Mario Brothers that we all enjoyed
That was classic.
watching.
Yeah. Criterion Collection.
Surely it's in the Criterion Collection. And if it's not, it should be. What the fuck are you doing, Hollywood?
It's in Mushroom Kingdom's Criterion Collection.
Right.
No,
it's in that part where it's
They
all the
buried
bad
it.
movies.
Mushroom Kingdom buried it like the copies of the E.T. games. You know that? That urban legend. Anyway, thank you so much to all of our patrons.
But a very special thank you to our Medarda tier patrons. Big Man Gnomes, Chloe Things, John is a Sexy Egg, King of Hearts, Shupa Moustache, and Trideca. If you were split between being Piltover and Zahn, I would heal our divide through the power of my music.
It would be the song you did in Heimerdinger's voice. Which is on our YouTube if you've never heard that, Jim.
Check it out.
Sang a whole parody song in his
It is so
Heimerdinger voice.
I just sang Get Jinxed.
Yeah.
And as Get Heimer Jinxed.
Criminally underrated.
It's fantastic. Be sure to join us next week. We're going to talk about another pretty new champion as we discuss the boss set